Hello and welcome back. We've made it to the grand finale of our deep dive into the stakeholder business model. After 10 detailed explainers, we've really unpacked one of the biggest shifts happening in the corporate world. So now it's time to put all those pieces together and review the biggest takeaways from our journey. Okay, before we get started, we have to get the important legal stuff out of the way. Just a reminder, this is a review of the 10-part explainer series, which is based on a research report from Virtualization Options LLC. Please remember that neither this explainer nor the report itself is legal advice. They don't come with any warranty, and honestly, we've only scratched the surface of what's in the full report. With that handled, I really want to kick things off by saying congratulations to you. I mean it. Sticking with us through all 10 parts shows a real commitment to understanding where business is headed. So, well done. Seriously. So, to tie this all together, we're going to walk through the 4 major themes that have guided us this whole time. First, we'll do a quick refresher on the stakeholder model itself. Then, we'll look at that crucial piece about AI integration. After that, we'll see how all this theory actually gets put into practice. And finally, we'll take a look at what the future holds. So let's start at the beginning, right? We're going to rewind a bit and revisit those foundational concepts from our first 3 chapters. The huge idea from Chapter 1 was really this fundamental shift in thinking. It's about moving away from this laser focus on just shareholder profits. Instead, the stakeholder model says, hey, a business is responsible to everyone its operations touch. That means its employees, its customers, its suppliers, and the wider community. Then in Chapter 2, we saw how this big idea actually comes to life. This isn't just some vague philosophy. It's about real, tangible actions. We're talking about being accountable to lots of different groups, measuring success with broader metrics like environmental, social, and governance, or ESG criteria, and really committing to transparency and a long-term view. Chapter 3 really put these 2 models head-to-head, and the difference is just night and day, right? On one side, you have the shareholder model, which is all about short-term financial wins, but on the other, the stakeholder model is playing a totally different game. It's trying to create long-term sustainable value across the board, financially, socially, and environmentally. It's a whole new definition of what it means to win. Okay, so once we had that foundation set, we moved into the modern era. Chapters 4, 5, and 6 added this incredibly important new layer to the conversation: artificial intelligence. What we saw in Chapter 4 is that for a stakeholder-focused company, AI is so much more than a cost-cutting tool. It's a way to serve everybody. Think about it, using AI to improve employee safety, to build customer trust by making systems transparent, or even to monitor for human rights issues in your supply chain. That's powerful stuff. But you can't just flip a switch and have responsible AI. It requires a solid plan. And that's exactly what Chapter 5 was about: building strong AI governance. It's not an afterthought. It's a core process that starts with creating a policy, moves to constant monitoring, makes sure leadership is held accountable, and then gets fully implemented across the organization. And maybe the biggest insight from Chapter 6 was this: you can't have responsible AI if only your engineers understand it. A real stakeholder business makes sure everyone has a basic level of AI literacy. When the whole company gets the potential and the pitfalls, you empower everyone to make smarter, more ethical choices. So, we've got the big idea, and we've got the tech. Chapters 7, 8, and 9 were all about bringing it back down to earth. How does this actually work in the real world, and what are the legal realities you have to deal with? Chapter 7 gave us a fantastic toolkit for telling the difference between companies that are walking the walk and those that are just talking the talk. You look for the evidence, right? Does their mission statement talk about a social purpose? Do they publish detailed ESG reports? Does their governance structure actually give stakeholders a voice? It's all about verifiable proof. Now, Chapter 8 flags something absolutely critical. This is no longer just a voluntary feel-good choice for companies. Major regulations, like the EU's Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive, are turning stakeholder accountability into a legal requirement. The game is changing, and this is setting a whole new standard for businesses globally. Of course, this transition isn't a walk in the park. Chapter 9 gave us a really balanced look at the pros and cons. And yes, there are definitely challenges. It's complex, it can cost more, but the strategic benefits are just massive. We're talking about a better reputation, smarter risk management, and the kind of deep trust and loyalty from stakeholders that you just can't buy. And that brings us to our last section, where we pull it all together and look ahead. Using what we learned in Chapter 10, we can start to map out where this whole movement is going. So, what's next?
Chapter 10 pretty much laid out a roadmap for the next decade. We're in the middle of this regulatory expansion right now. Soon, that's going to lead to much more mature AI governance. And down the line, we're looking at a future with incredibly advanced AI-driven ways of engaging with every single stakeholder. You can really feel the momentum building. So, after all of this, if there is one single thing to take away from our entire series, it's this. The stakeholder model isn't just a new strategy or a small tweak. It is a fundamental, ground-up paradigm shift in how we think about the entire purpose of a business. And to actually make that shift happen successfully, it all comes down to these 5 critical elements we talked about. It has to start with a genuine commitment from the top. It has to be baked into your governance, your engagement, your company culture. And it demands constant learning and total transparency. You know, this quote from the report just says it all perfectly. The future is for companies that get it, that realize their own success and the well-being of society aren't 2 separate things to be balanced. They're deeply, deeply interconnected. And with that, we're at the end of our review and the end of our series. We've gone through the theory, the tech, the legal land state, and the path forward. So the last question I have isn't for me to answer, it's for you. Now that you have this framework, how will you go out and build the future? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey.